babies. That is not bullshit. It's true.
She believed consumption was transformation, that youth could be taken in, that vitality could be absorbed. She talked about ancient rites, about elites throughout history who understood what the masses didn't.
Ellen DeGeneres is named in the Epstein documents, and that part is real. Her name appears in the broader index of over 300 high-profile individuals that show up across the investigative materials. Flight logs, communications, third-party interviews, peripheral records.
There was a separate kitchen on the property, stainless steel, private entrance, no security cameras inside.
5,000 children crossed the border this last year and disappeared. Where did they disappear?
Once you share that secret, whatever you believed you'd consumed, you are bound to the group. No one betrays a circle that could destroy them.
It wasn't random. It was a hit to shut her up. And the poison started way before, in her relationship with Ellen.
I know that the saints in heaven wish to be on this earth right now because there are far more people on this earth than there's ever been. And there are far more souls to save right now than there ever has ever been.
The world of Hollywood is built on a foundation of carefully crafted illusions, but every once in a while, the mask slips so far that the person underneath becomes unrecognizable. For decades, Ellen DeGeneres was the golden girl of daytime TV, the woman who taught millions to be kind while dancing through her studio aisles. She was the safe, relatable face of the elite, the one celebrity everyone felt they could trust. But lately, a much darker narrative has taken hold, one that connects the queen of comedy to the dark shadows of Jeffrey Epstein's private island. We've all seen the headlines, but what's surfacing now isn't just gossip. It's a web of connections involving Ghislaine Maxwell, coded messages, and a list of names that the world's most powerful people are desperate to keep buried. People are starting to wonder if the Be Kind slogan was actually a shield for something far more sinister, a way to stay hidden in plain sight while moving through the most controversial circles in human history.
The internet's cruel as you age, and people are being mean about Ellen DeGeneres' appearance.
Ellen DeGeneres looks very different these days and appears to have aged quite significantly in the last few years.
Why does Ellen DeGeneres suddenly look 20 years older?
Why does 64-year-old Ellen DeGeneres look so different?
Apparently now that she no longer has access to children's blood, she's aging.
Well, it's hard to get. You just don't get it in an Audi.
No. Well, now they've interrupted the supply chain. Now the Epstein files are all whatever. She's just not getting it, and therefore all of ULAN's not going to cut it.
When you think of the names associated with the Epstein scandal, you usually think of politicians, tech moguls, and royalty. You don't think of the woman who gave away free cars and danced with suburban moms. But as the digital age allows us to peer behind the curtain, those cozy daytime memories are being replaced by haunting questions. This isn't just about a mean boss reputation anymore. It's about allegations that touch on the very core of a global network. The shift in public perception didn't happen overnight. But once the first domino fell, it started a chain reaction that has led Ellen to flee the country entirely. But before we get to her sudden escape to the UK, we have to look at the documents that started it all, and the specific, chilling label that was reportedly placed on her by those inside the ring.
Can I tell you something? Yes, what? So I thought that you were gonna scare me when I came in. I don't know why. So in my dressing room, you have the bathroom with the cameras. So I put owls all over the camera, and I went in Kobe Bryant's dressing room because I was scared. Well, you're right. I was trying to scare you. You ruined it. I'm sorry. Oh well, that's okay. Okay, I'll get you, my pretty. I'll get you.
If you think the Selena bathroom prank is just a story, you aren't looking at the facts, and she wasn't alone. Because years later, Nikki Tutorials came forward saying the show literally restricted which bathrooms they could use, while staff described a culture of fear built on constant surveillance. Why was the most private room always the centre of drama?
When the Epstein files were finally unsealed and the flight logs were laid bare for the world to see, the internet didn't just look for politicians. They looked for the icons we invited into our living rooms every day. And there it was, Ellen's name, appearing across investigative materials, flight logs, and peripheral records. But it wasn't just the presence of her name that sent shockwaves through social media. It was the specific, haunting label associated with her in certain online circles. Rumors began to swirl girl that Ghislaine Maxwell had identified Ellen as Hollywood's most prolific consumer, a term so dark it's almost impossible to say out loud without realizing the gravity of what's being suggested. While the mainstream media keeps its distance, the digital world has been dissecting every frame of her career, looking for the truth that was hidden in plain sight for over 20 years.
You know they eat babies. That is not bullshit. It's true.
The records show that the connections weren't just a one-time thing. We're talking about a pattern of association that spans years. Investigative materials, including third-party interviews and communications from the inner circle, have surfaced suggesting that the Be Kind Queen was far more integrated into the high society ring than she ever let on. In these documents, over 300 high-profile individuals are indexed, but Ellen's name carries a different weight because of her public persona. The contrast between her daytime joy and these elite associations has created a massive rift in her legacy. Some claim her name appears over 100 times in the broader files, and as more people dig, they find that her involvement might have gone beyond just being a guest.
The Ellen situation. Yeah. You know, people found out that Ellen was mean, and all these people came out and said, Ellen's actually a bitch. And everybody, whoa, yeah. Can't believe it. And she lost everything. She fell apart, disappeared, because people found out that this character that she was portraying in a half an hour on a television show is not really who she was. My buddy Greg, who was one of her writers, was like, she's a piece of shit. And he was like, she's a monster.
But if you think the paper trail is the only evidence, wait until you see how she reportedly designed her entire professional world to mirror the very island at the center of the storm. The set design of the Ellen DeGeneres show was iconic, but when you place it side by side with the imagery from the island, the coincidence starts to look like a blueprint. The blue and white stripes on the building that sat at the highest point of Epstein's island are mirrored in the stripes used throughout Ellen's branding and studio. For years, fans thought it was just a nautical, breezy theme, but now online sleuths are pointing out that even the window structures and the specific lighting on her set match the architectural layout of the island's most mysterious structure. Why would a comedy queen choose the exact aesthetic of a place linked to such horrific allegations? Was it an inside joke for the elite, or was she signaling her allegiance to the public every single day while they clapped and cheered? The set was her kingdom, and it seems her kingdom was built in the image of something truly dark. And as if the set design wasn't enough, she once took this tribute to the biggest stage in the world, involving the biggest stars in Hollywood, in what many now believe was a public ritual.
Did you know that Ellen DeGeneres' stage set is exactly the same as on Epstein Island, with all the couches, the same colour, the same soft furnishings, palm trees, window, everything to the T? And I'm like,
really?
Yep.
Wow.
Oh.
Hey, and we're getting some up now.
Getting some up now on our screen.
Yeah, there's palm trees. You're right.
But look at the backdrop behind her, striped building.
No, Emma, there's
palm
nothing
trees.
to see here.
But don't berate her.
I'm not berating. I'm just saying.
I'm going to look further.
Breaking news from the latest 2026 Epstein file dumps. Ellen DeGeneres has been exposed as the key link connecting Jeffrey Epstein's infamous island network to Hollywood's hidden world of ritualistic practices, including the consumption of human flesh in ancient-style ceremonies. But the revelations go deeper, tying directly to her relationship with her ex-partner, actress Anne Heche, who died in that suspicious car crash back in August 2022 while investigating Hollywood's child trafficking pipelines, and was determined to expose it all. She confronted Ellen with evidence, and months later, she was gone. Now investigators have confirmed that after Anne's death, Ellen pulled strings to claim her body, storing it in a mansion freezer like some kind of relic. Over the years, Ellen allegedly consumed parts of Anne in deliberate occult ceremonies.
But the set design was only the beginning. If we travel back to 2014 to one of the most whimsical moments in Oscar history, we see something that looks very different through a modern lens. Remember when Ellen walked through the crowd of A-list celebrities, handing out pizza like it was a casual slumber party? At the time, it was quirky and viral, the selfie that broke the internet. Today, it's being re-examined frame by frame as a potential coded ritual. In the wake of massive controversies involving coded language used by the elite, specifically the pizza terminology that has been linked to the most sensitive of criminal allegations, people are looking at the reactions of the stars in that room and wondering if they were all participating in a public display of insider behavior. Harrison Ford, Julia Roberts, Meryl Streep, they all took a slice. But look at their faces. Look at the way Ellen moved through the room, acting as the master of ceremonies for an event that felt strangely forced. Critics online have pointed out that pizza has been a recurring theme throughout Ellen's career, often appearing in jokes and segments that feel out of place. Why the obsession? In the world of high-level speculation, nothing is accidental. The 2014 Oscars moment, which was meant to show how relatable these celebrities were, now feels like a heavy reminder of how the elite operate right in front of our eyes, mocking the public's ignorance. They were eating, laughing, and celebrating, while the internet claims the very food they were sharing was a code for the exploitation happening behind the scenes. It was a moment of peak Hollywood power, but it might have been the moment they all exposed themselves. And as the public started connecting these dots, the woman who held the ultimate secrets began to realize her silence was her only currency.
Crazy idea that I will order pizza, and so if I do, I don't want it to go to waste. Who will eat pizza if I... Jennifer? Yes? Harrison? Yes? Mark? All right. Julia wants cheese. Who's your favorite movie star? They're here. Well, who do you want to talk to?
The timing of Ellen's downfall is something that can't be ignored. Long before the Epstein connections became the main focus, her public image took a massive hit when former employees spoke out about a toxic workplace. This was the moment the Be Kind Queen was officially unmasked. For years, the public believed the persona, but behind the scenes, former staffers and guests described a very different experience once the camera stopped rolling. They spoke of bullying, an environment of fear, and a mean girl attitude that contradicted everything she stood for. It was the first time the public really saw that the person they loved on TV was a carefully manufactured product. Staffers accused the show of favoritism and mistreatment, and guests like Nikki Tutorials confirmed that the warmth you saw on screen was non-existent in reality. This PR nightmare wasn't just about a bad boss, it was the psychological preparation for the public to believe the darker allegations that would follow. It made people ask, if she was capable of maintaining such a massive lie about her basic personality for 20 years, what else was she hiding? If the kindness was a lie, then everything else, the set design, the associations, the mysterious trips, were now open for reevaluation. The toxic workplace was just the tip of the iceberg. Once the shield of public adoration was gone, the elite connections she had spent a lifetime building started to look a lot more like a liability, especially when her name started being linked to other falling stars in the Hollywood firmament.
I called her out. I was like, Ellen's not that nice.
This was after you went on the show?
After I went on the show.
What was it like meeting Ellen? And is she a good person?
Let's just all go back to 2017, where I was the first person to call Ellen out before anyone else
You called
did.
her out?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I called her out. I was like, Ellen's not that nice.
This was after you went on the show?
After I went on the show, and the world blew up about it and was like so mad at me about it, and then someone else said it, and then it was like, oh my god, Ellen's not nice. Oh, okay.
Why do you say she's not nice?
I can't explain it. It was just
an
really
energy?
weird. I ran into her like backstage. It was like an awkward thing, and like the producers were really scared. I was like, what's going on? They were like, that was not supposed to happen. We're gonna get in trouble. It was like so weird. And she was like, hey. It was like, I was like, oh hi. Like I was like, I'm so excited. And she was like,
The plot thickened even more when P. Diddy's legal troubles began to dominate the news. As the king of Hollywood parties saw his empire raided and his past exposed, people began to look at his closest associates. Suddenly, old clips of Diddy and Ellen started resurfacing, showing a level of comfort and insider knowledge that made viewers uneasy. They weren't just colleagues, they were part of the same elite social fabric, the same exclusive guest lists, and the same power structures that governed the hills of Los Angeles. In one resurfaced clip, the two joke about their private lives in a way that feels like they're sharing a secret the rest of us aren't supposed to understand.
Once you shared that secret, whatever you believed you'd consumed, you were bound to the group. No one betrays a circle that could destroy them.
As Diddy's world collapsed under the weight of massive accusations that surfaced, people began to look at Ellen and ask, who's next? It seems like a domino effect is finally happening. The inner circle that once controlled the narrative is being picked apart piece by piece. When one person falls, they often take their friends with them, and Ellen's proximity to Diddy, combined with her Epstein links, created a perfect storm of suspicion. The celebrities who once felt untouchable are now looking for the nearest exit, realizing that the old rules of Hollywood protection no longer apply in the age of viral truth.
Did you see the Ellen video with Diddy though? That aged like fine wine?
What Ellen video?
So Ellen had a bunch of kids on her show one day. At least 8 on the couch, right?
Yeah.
She said, "Oh, now welcoming."
Diddy, come on out.
They all come rushing to him.
Do kids even know who Diddy was?
I don't know, but Diddy for sure knew what he's doing, man.
Why'd you move to LA? Oh, for the kids.
And for Ellen, the exit wasn't just a metaphorical one. It was a literal one-way flight away from the country that made her a star. She didn't just go on a vacation, she packed up her life and moved to the Cotswolds in England permanently. The official story provided to the media is that she wanted a quiet life away from the Hollywood spotlight following the 2024 election, but the timing is incredibly suspicious. She didn't just move, she closed up her businesses, sold off her assets, and essentially offed her American career in a matter of weeks. She left right as new lists were being discussed in court and as the pressure from the Maxwell investigation began to peak. Is it a peaceful retirement, or is it a strategic move to a place where the American legal system and the prying eyes of the public are harder to reach? Moving to a different country is the ultimate power move for someone who knows the storm is finally reaching their doorstep. The Cotswolds is known for being a hideout for the ultra-wealthy, a place where privacy is bought and sold. It feels less like a choice and more like a retreat. For someone who spent 30 years craving the spotlight, the sudden desire for total isolation in a foreign country screams of someone who is hiding from a coming wave. The internet has already dubbed it the Great Escape, and many believe it's only a matter of time before the reasons for her departure are revealed in a courtroom rather than a tabloid. She's gone, but the digital footprint she left behind is permanent, and the questions she left unanswered are only getting louder.
The internet is looking for Ellen DeGeneres, but I'm gonna tell you right now, she probably done left the damn country because she knows she's on that damn Epstein list. As Ellen DeGeneres Page, former TV show host, her whole page is flooded with comments saying she eats this and she loves pizza parties. The harassment that she is getting on her page is beyond, and people is looking for her to be arrested and get arrested. But I'm gonna tell you right now, a lot of these celebs are fleeing. A lot of these celebs are disappearing because the time has come where everything is getting ready to expose, and they have been used as pawns and puppets. Satan has no use of them. He used them to do their dirty work, to do his dirty work, and now he has no use of them, and he doesn't care what happened to them. This is bad. I don't wish no bad upon no celebs or anybody. Best thing they could do is pray. They have been played and used, and their time has come. It's fallen.
In the end, the truth has a funny way of finding the light, no matter how much money or power is used to bury it. Whether it's through Ghislaine Maxwell's cooperation behind bars, or the relentless digging of a public that no longer trusts its idols, the Be Kind era is officially over. We're left with a series of haunting questions and a growing list of names that suggest the rabbit hole goes much deeper than we ever imagined. Ellen DeGeneres was supposed to be the legacy of laughter, the woman who broke barriers and brought people together. Instead, she's become a case study in how a celebrity persona can be used as a mask for the most controversial associations in Hollywood history. The daytime queen now sits in a quiet village in England, while the empire she left behind is being dissected by a world that finally sees the cracks. The set design, the Oscar pizza, the flight logs, they've all merged into one giant narrative that the public refuses to let go of. As the elite continue to scramble and more names are exposed in the coming months, one thing is certain: the era of the untouchable celebrity is dead. The silence is finally being broken, and the stories that were revealed are just the beginning. What else is hiding in the archives of the Ellen DeGeneres show? What other names will Maxwell drop to keep her comfortable life in prison? The world is watching, and the next mask to slip might just be the one that changes everything we thought we knew about the people we admire. What do you think about Ellen's sudden move and the strange details hidden in her show? Is this all just a massive series of coincidences, or are we finally seeing the true face of the woman who told us all to be kind? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, because this story is far from over, and the next name to drop might just be the one that breaks the internet forever. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and watch this next video, because the Hollywood rabbit hole gets even deeper than this. Curious how the stars keep their glow and their homes A-list ready? I've handpicked the top-rated skincare, home, and wellness essentials favored by Hollywood's elite in my official Amazon storefront. Click the link in my description to shop the Celeb Curio collection today.